And today the talk is about the opportunities and the prospects in the field of the engineering. And mostly I will introduce how engineering and engineering kind of different directions can improve our healthcare. So basically it's to bridge engineering and healthcare. And personally, my name is Shiming Zhang, as Robert Kennedy mentioned, and I'm assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering and in the Biomedical Engineering program. So I suppose you can see the slides, right? Slides properly?
Yes, all good.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. So the first question is that, I suppose some of you may not very familiar with the field of engineering. Okay, so what is an engineer? How how engineers always think, or the way an engineer think, right? So I can tell you basically it's like this. So we got inspired from the historical breakthroughs, technology or science. So, and then basically the knowledge human being earned or learned in the past. Okay, and then what we do is that we are very curious to master all the current technologies, all the knowledge human created. So we want to master all these kind of technologies, all this kind of whatever is there, we master all these technologies. And what we do is that we want to use the current technology to develop something that is not exist for a better future, or develop a vision for our future. Okay, so in this case, we combine the past, now, and for the future. Okay, so the past knowledge we created and we put them together, and then we rub them out, and we master all the current technologies to develop them further, and to develop something is not exist for a better life. So give you an example, what does an engineer do? A very simple example. So, but what is engineering, right? You may want to know. So by definition, the standard definition, engineers are professionals who invent, design, analyze, build, and test machines, complex systems, structures, and materials to fulfill functional objectives and requirements, while considering the limitations imposed by practicality, regulation, safety, and cost. Okay, so this is a very standard kind of definition. I'm not sure if you get all these key points, but in my personal, very simple understanding is to develop tools to make life easier based on the knowledge that we know. Okay, so this is some very simple kind of concept, what I know for engineering. So give you a very simple example. Okay, so now I'm talking with you, right? On the internet, via Zoom, right? So it's a kind of communication between you and me is so convenient. You are at home, I'm in my office, and we can communicate so fast, so fluent. But in the past, if you want to deliver a piece of message, is that very difficult. Okay, so probably the fastest way is that you can use a messenger, this kind of pigeon, the bird, to send a kind of a piece of paper, a news, a letter to your home. Okay, so this is relatively faster than house, right? All the other one is smoke signal. This is pretty useful in this kind of countries between different areas, regions, and is very helpful in the period of war. This is used to send signals or some alerting, right? And this is how the people in the past communicate for signals. And what engineer can do is that actually we can improve this communication, like what we are doing now, by some engineering approach. So for example, a telegraph, this is developed almost 200 years ago, Okay, and people develop a telegraph, engineering develop a telegraph, then we can send the information wirelessly. And now what we are doing is similar. We benefit from this technology. This is what engineers do. Okay, and how we can develop such a machine that to pass the knowledge, right? to transfer the signals. So, for example, this is the first telegraph in 1843, Morse. The person calls Morse. You know, we know the Morse code, right? Morse code actually is the same person. He engineered a telegraph system is that just like this one. It's very bulky, you know, it's very bulky and also it's very heavy. But he can send the kind of message wirelessly to the target location between cities, between two different cities. But how this machine can work and how it works, why we can build such a machine, this benefits from the science behind. Okay, and the science behind is in 1831, Faraday discovered the phenomenon of electromagnetic induction. Okay, this is something already there, but we need to discover it. Then after discover this kind of very, very interesting phenomenon, okay, created by superpower, and then we can utilize, master this kind of things, science, to develop such a machine. Okay, and this is knowledge creation, this is knowledge application. Knowledge creation, to my understanding, you know, in my understanding, is more on science part, and knowledge application is more on engineering part, but it's to improve life, that we can use it, we can see it. Okay, and there is always a feedback between these two. So this is the first version that you apply this kind of science to develop such a machine, but there's always iteration, always developments to make such a thing better. Okay, to improve, facilitate its use for practical applications or to ease our life. Okay, so that's always the feedback. So with this kind of feedback, or we can call it engineering advances, right? So it's engineering advances or technology advances that we can improve such a bulky machine with time, engineering advances, iteration, to much better machines or tools. For example, in 1980, we have this cell phone. It's still very bulky, but it's already kind of portable. And in the past 40 years, now we have the 5G, even 6G. Sometimes you heard about that, right? So the cell phone is very convenient. Now we play games, and now we can have Zoom meetings, right? It's very high data, you know, throughput, and we have this kind of communication. This all benefit from the direction of engineering, and this is all the efforts, thousands of engineering works, and you know, a lot of efforts behind, so we can have such a tool now that we can do. So this is all engineering works. And then you may know that actually engineering also need research, because it's not only that you have the Faraday's law of induction, then you can use it. You also need to have research to find new phenomena based on the first one, and then that's always an iteration, and then you can realize the goal from the first Morse, you know, this kind of telegraph to the current cell phone, for example, 5G in 2020. So you also need engineering research more on the applied side. Okay. So at HKU, actually engineering, we do a lot of breakthroughs at engineering research. So there's a lot of directions. For example, we are very good at laser scanning imaging technology. So it's the world's fastest laser scanning imaging technology. Also in the MRI, we know that if you go to hospital, something, you know, our organs got injured, so we need a very high precise MRI technology to see the image, right? And you know, we have professors are very good in this direction. Also, we developed the very, you know, good liquid repellent materials. So that means, you know, for athletes, they wear this kind of suit and they can behave much better. Also, the robotic exoskeletons and also various detection in waste water, especially in the COVID-19 case, right? So for the time being, and this kind of technology that can save our lives and also improve our life quality, especially in the pandemic. Also, breakthroughs in sustainable lighting systems and invention of very super steel, very hard steel. You know, these are all engineering breakthroughs that people can directly use these materials to construct, for example, buildings and cars, and also a lot of research and teaching excellence awards. So within Hong Kong and globally recognitions. So this is just a brief introduction about different points. But this is not something that I want to focus today. Today, what I want to show you is that how engineering can combine with healthcare, or in another word, that how we can develop better engineering tools, technologies to improve healthcare and medicine. This is something that we are just at the right time, and the convergence or the technology advances from different disciplines makes now the right time to make this happen. Okay, and healthcare is the topic of the whole society now, especially for now. What engineers can do we can do more, right, to improve the healthcare, and this give birth to a new research direction, and this direction called biomedical engineering. Basically, this is the bio part, medical part, and this is the engineering part. So we combine them together. Actually, it's biomedical engineering. So give you an example here. So engineering disciplines, actually we have a lot, right? Computer engineering or computer programs, electrical or electronic engineering, mechanical engineering, and also there's other materials engineering, chemical engineering, and many others. And on the other hand, medicine part, you have medical science and neuroscience. So basically to understand what is the human body, what is going there, right? And engineering is we want to develop some tools. And at the interface, so actually it's biomedical engineering. Here we develop better tools and new tools, try to improve life or try to improve health. We want to get rid of the bulky equipment that we used in the hospital. For example, you go to hospital, you need to run the very bulky MRI, CT, blood test, right? And this kind of bulky equipment. Can we develop something new, portable, that can be used at home or in our community? We don't need to go to hospital. This is something doable now with the advances of the technology and the engineering. So BME at HKU, Biomedical Engineering, so we have very dynamic learning environment. So basically in the first year or the second year, you will learn very fundamental courses about mathematics, engineering, and biomedical science. And in the years 3 and 2 is the advanced stage. So you will start to learn the very specific courses, for example, the advanced BME training, biomaterials, tissue engineering, biomechanics, and biotransport, and genomic science, and bioinformatics, biomedical imaging. So it's very comprehensive. And you can leverage the strength of both the faculty of engineering and the faculty of medicine. We have very strong faculty of medicine. Also, we have very strong engineering. And this engineering is not confined to certain department, but is the convergent efforts of the whole faculty: mechanical engineering, electrical and electronic engineering, and also civil engineering and industrial engineering. So the whole project, is covered by all these kind of directions. And this is what I want to show. So you can have the chance to have all this kind of expertise, okay, and all the support. So BME research, we already get, even though we have actually already 20 years history, medical engineering, biomedical engineering, but we got a lot of breakthroughs in this direction. For example, as I mentioned, the mRNA, optogenetics, these are all very cutting-edge research topics, and gene editing technology. For example, you may heard CRISPR, right? You can use CRISPR technology and to edit the gene of certain type to cure diseases, right? And also the fast optical brain imaging, so to know what is the neural activities. And so probably you can read others' mind, of course, following the right protocols. And also the nanotech for dentistry, biomechanics, so microfluidics, cell biology, and bioinformatics imaging, and also digital wearables. So basically to get some, information or healthcare information when you wear something, your smartwatch, okay, your glasses, and even the clothes, right? So it's textiles. And today, so since I'm working in this area, digital wearables, everybody remember, there's a lot of exciting directions in different groups and labs. But today, I'm only focusing on my own part because I'm working in this direction, digital wearables. So I will just take an example as an example to take you to this field and to have a look what is happening in this area. Okay, and remember that all the other areas, there's a lot of interesting and exciting stories. You can go there to have a look. So today we just take example as digital wearables, how engineering can contribute for better healthcare. So the main driven that we develop this kind of digital wearables is because the following main driving forces. The first one is the shortage of medical resources. As I mentioned, if you go to a hospital, there's a lot of bulky equipment, but also you need to wait a long line, right? Long line, and then you need to make appointments. It's not very convenient. The other one is the aging population. So in certain regions and countries, there's a lot of aging problems. The aged person, the population is increasing, and there's not enough resources for them. Okay, and also for the time being, COVID-19 pandemic quarantine disable you, to go to hospital. Once you are quarantined, you can only stay at home or in the community. But how can you have the timely and accurate medical check in this scenario? See, in this case, we need some kind of easily accessible equipment that can measure our health. And one example is a wearables. And this is already not a secret. Okay, so for example, the very famous journal, The Economist, right? So already, the quantified science, how data can help you live longer. Well, we don't want to, we want to live longer, but first of all, we want to know what is happening. I want to have a screening alert of our working body if there's something wrong, right? And also you can see that wearable tech now is on the rise and is kind of a new business. So for example, the wearable watches, activity trackers, smart watches, healthcare devices, portable ones, and smart glasses. And you can imagine, right, there's many other kind of wearables that can help you to monitor your health, right? And even though the market is on the rise and there's a lot of opportunities, but what we can do, what Hong Kong UBME is doing, what we are doing in this direction to make this better, right? Since you may already know there's Apple, Huawei, Samsung, you already have some smartwatch can monitor your steps, ECG, and etc. Right? You're right. So actually, you have the first generation smartwatch can monitor your walking steps, heart rate, calories, and sleep, right? And actually, 12 years ago, there's already watch can monitor the blood oxygen, blood pressure, right? So even though you have, but what is not there is that you cannot monitor the bioliquid signals, for example, in blood, sweat, saliva. This is something that the watch cannot do. But this definitely is within capability of engineering topic, BME topic. And this is what we are doing. We want to develop a watch that not only has these functions, but also can monitor, for example, in case someone has a risk of getting a cancer, and when the cancer happens, actually, in a certain amount of time, there's a certain cancer biomarkers, which the molecules can be an indicator for the happening of cancer. If you can detect this kind of molecule at the very early stage, then it will be very helpful, right? And then also, for example, the diabetes patients, they always need to monitor their glucose levels, and then they may need to use the finger stick, right, to poke the finger and take the blood. This is very painful and is not continuous monitor. If you have a smart watch, can monitor the glucose concentration in the sweat rather than in the blood, as long as there is a reliable correlation between the sweat and blood, then you get the thing done, right? This is something is very creative. Can we do it? This is something that we want to do. Okay, it's called chemical analysis. It's not yet available in the market, and the industrial, is not they didn't master this technology. This is our job. This is what we research to cutting edge research. What we should do when we prototype is feasible and we demonstrate that it is feasible, is reliable, then it's next phase that we can pass this to the industry, and they can further develop it for commercial applications to benefit the society. give you an example. This is what our lab is doing. So we developed such a system. It's very small, compatible with a smartwatch, very lightweight. Basically, it's less than 1 gram, and is very, very small. Okay, so a lot of iterations behind. So in the past 12 years, we work in this direction with our BME students, even undergraduate students. They come to the lab and then we work together to develop the materials and all the hardware, circuits, printed circuit board, software, algorithms to develop a whole system. And we want the whole system to be able to sense some biomarkers in the sweat. Okay, then we can at least give a reference to the doctors that what is the patient's condition. Okay, with this kind of platform and technology, so we can already monitor the, for example, the ECG, the heart for the heart healthcare. This is actually an example what our undergraduate students is doing to use this kind of sensor for the EMG monitor, ECG monitor, and also use this kind of very small this device to monitor the glucose concentration in the tissue fluid, okay, sweat or interstitial fluid, rather than in the blood. So this is minimally invasive. You don't need to get the blood, but you can get the things done. Okay, this is glucose concentration. So once you have increased the glucose concentration, actually you can have corresponding data, and this is a continuous monitor. Okay, and further you can make them a system. So from the device level to system level, and with the AI chip, display functions, and the shell, you can make them a product. But of course, it's only a prototype. It's not yet available to the market. But we want to demonstrate the best at HKU, at the world-class engineering atmosphere and ecosystem, so we can make this happen. You have the flexible circuits, miniaturize the sensors, and assemble this kind of different smart wearables. For example, so wearable sweat sensor, smart bandages. In that case, if you got a burn or you have a wound, right, you can put this sensor on top. This sensor will let you know in which stage your wound is, and you don't need to frequently peel off the bandages to have the secondary damage, right? So this is pretty useful, and this is now what we are doing. I think in the near future, next 5 years, 10 years, you will get this smart bandage to alert you, to let you know at what time you need to change the bandage, right? At what time you need to change the drugs that for the accelerated wound heal, right? And further than that, actually, now we have the VR, AR, gaming, metaverse. So this kind of wearables is also within our capability. Further than that, we can also develop soft implantables or soft implantable electrodes. So we master the materials that how to develop stretchable but conducting materials. And then once you implant them into the brain, it will detect your brain signals. And with this kind of signals, combined with the cell phones and AIs, so even though you think, for example, you don't need to say a word, but you think a word in your mind, and then the computer will type it out. Okay, we'll type it out, hello world. You think hello world, and the electrodes will sense it. Of course, we want to make the electrodes softer is because to minimize the motion artifacts. You can just move as you want without affecting the recording reliability. This is something that is really fancy. This is what you can do at HKU BM. And also, for example, you can do something more exciting, because now you may heard of computing, right? But computing now suffer from a very serious issue that, Moore's law, that is every 2 years, the density of the density of the transistors on the chip will be double. But now it's already few nanometers, so it's very difficult to further downsize or scale down the size of the transistor. So now we can create an artificial neuron, use devices. So we make devices to mimic the behavior of neuron. Human brain actually is much powerful than computer. We think and we respond at the same time. And as long as we develop such an artificial neuron, then we can use this artificial neuron to develop a neuromorphic engineering or for future computing. This is very powerful, and you can make this to develop a future brain-inspired AI, just like another one that to think about and think about things is much better than us actually. And this kind of technology is under development by the whole community, also at the HKU BME. If you combine the health tech and the brain-inspired AI together, you will get this kind of picture. Is that you have devices, engineering the devices by converging all these kind of cutting-edge technologies, and you have these physical signals, thermal signals, electrophysiological signals, whatever signals there in the human body, you can detect with the engineering technology devices. And then in the same time, you can also mimic the brain, right? For brain-inspired AI, and then combine with wireless communication technology feedback for telemedicine, self-diagnosis, and home healthcare. So it's really a closed loop, focuses on healthcare, right? Focus on healthcare. And this is really a very comprehensive picture that is a lot of opportunities behind. Okay. So what you can get, actually, you can gain the access to all these exciting researches and also topics. So at HKU BME, we have the lab scheduling program. Basically, in the first year, second year, you already gain the access to the different labs, from the research labs, and then you will learn all these technologies and the researches that you are interested. Okay, then you can gain hands-on experience, right? And then which can facilitate actually your knowledge learning in the courses. So other than that, so we also have the InnoShow. InnoShow is a new initiative in the Hong Kong U engineering. So basically, you have a corner. It's a very large area. I think it's several hundred meter squares, and then you can propose your own experiments. You will have the full support from the BME, also the whole faculty of engineering. You can propose your new ideas, your creative ideas, and with all the support from the staff faculties, you can make your own products, integrated products. So this is a very kind of special event, actually. And here, this is already very successful for a lot of students to propose their own projects. So, and also achievements. Give you an example, this is the delivery from the final year projects. So in the final year of the BME, you will be able to, combine the past 3 years the learning into the final year projects. And here you will have a hands-on experience in a certain research group that you are interested, and then to develop your own products, this kind of demo prototype. For example, this is the human-machine interface. By attaching electrodes on the skin, that actually you can communicate with the robotic arm. Okay, and this is just an example, and then it works very well. Also, there's a lot of competitions. So this is just an example. Actually, the students is developing the wearable glucose sensors, and then you will have a lot of these kind of competitions for you to develop your own wearable sensors or the other kind of biomedical instrumentations devices to accelerate the projects for better healthcare. And also, you can attend global competitions. So this is our BME students. Actually, they went out of the campus for the local or even global competitions, and to this is just a wearable, actually still a wearable project, but also the other directions are also very competitive. You also have a lot of internship opportunities. Here, I just give you an example on wearables. So, for example, actually you have the internship opportunity to, for example, Huawei, TCL, and also local, different institutes. There's a lot of opportunities for the internship. Actually, you choose them, right? You have a lot of choices and just choose them. Also, we have more than 20% of students are going abroad every year. Remember, it's every year 20%. So basically, if you want, you can gain the chance to go abroad for exchange to the kind of groups or universities that you are interested. So there's a lot of future opportunities of healthcare technologies in the engineering. Still, I just limited to the wearables and of course also the others. So, for example, the global wearable medical devices market is on the big rise. In the next 10 years, the rise will be, it's a lot. For example, from 10 billion to 70 billion. Okay, and also, there's a lot of industrial companies are working in this direction. So this is just the right time, okay, if you want to study in this area. And also for the brain-inspired AI, actually you can see this is from 2012 to 2035. 2025 to 2035. So it's from now, it's just at the start, you see 0.3%, and soon it will become 18%. So in the next 10 years. So just on the rise, okay, and just the right time. So at HKU BME, there's also more career perspectives. So there's a lot of startups. Actually, this morning we just have 3 startups actually talk with our undergraduate students. And here you can build your own startups and you have the full support from HKU. So there's also tissue program and also this kind of program, innovation and entrepreneurship hub to nurse. Suppose after undergraduate study, you have very crazy ideas and you want to start your own startup, you will have the full support from the faculty and also from the university level. Further than that, after you finish your BME degree, it's engineering degree, you also have the faster, path to the medical degree, Bachelor of Medicine. So in that case, you can go to the MBBS program. So after you finish the BME 4th year, then you directly transfer the 2nd year of the MBBS, and then you will skip the 3rd year. Basically, you spend the other 4 years, and then you will get the bachelor degree in medicine. So this is very good actually for the BME projects. Okay. And of course, so we also have our BME website. So we have our BME website, so HKU BME Biomedical Engineering. So from there, you can learn more comprehensive information, how we can engineer better tools for better healthcare. And also you can use this bar, this kind of picture to access our website. Okay. And of course, we also have our Facebook and also other social media, for example, Instagram. So you can feel free to log in there to explore more exciting things for our BME project. So with that, I hope I can convince you that actually we have a lot of exciting researches and activities happening in our HKU BME program and also the other HKU engineering programs. And I hope that we will meet someday at HKU to work together for a better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zhang. So a lot of interesting project that we see. And thanks, Dr. Zhang, as well. He actually invite our year 3 students in BME, Rachel Latterly. So may I now invite Rachel Latterly to share some of your experience as well?
First of all, thank you for inviting me to join this talk. I would love to share my BME experience in the past 3 years. So I'm a year 3. An introduction to me is that I'm an international student. I actually came from Jakarta, or as you know, Bali, and it is in Indonesia. So I'm an Indonesian international student. So, so when I was in high school, I need to choose a university, right? So I choose Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong, I choose HKU because of a lot of acclaims and recognitions. But then I found out that HKU has a biomedical engineering program. And through this biomedical engineering program website, I found out that there are so many parts of BME, just like what Dr. Chang has said, right? There's biomechanics, biomedical imaging, and then there's biomaterials and computational biomedicine. So these 4 aspects have so many different fields that I can jump into. And since when I was in high school, I don't know what I want to do in the future, I decided to join the BME program. So in BME, what I realized is that there's so many different facilities that you can use. There's the Alpha Lab, Microfluidics Lab, the Ultrasound Lab, and the Tissue Engineering Lab. There's also labs in the medical faculty, like the Med Campus and the MRI Lab, Orthopedics Lab, and there's one in the Science Building, I think the Biochemistry Lab, and we have access to all of these labs. And in the first year, so when you first join in the engineering program, everybody needs to take all of the common engineering courses. So there's mechanics, there's electricity, there's programming, there's thermofluid, and there's maths as well. Even though you join as a BME student, you need to learn everything here because in the future it will be necessary. Currently I'm still using most of these. And the benefit of joining BME is that you can also get the introductory course to biology and chemistry. And by joining that, you can figure out like, oh, which one do you like? And in year one, you can also figure out, do you want to join like the other engineering programs like offered? For example, if you really like the programming course, then you can transfer to the computer science major. And if you really like electronics, you can transfer to the electronics major. And that's the benefit of joining engineering, because you're declaring your major in your second year. And then in year one, a really good thing about BME is that they give you a lot of hands-on experience. So in the first year, we have what's it called, a lab shadow program. So the previous labs that I showed, you can choose 2 out of those labs and shadow a PhD for like around 6 to 8 weeks. And we basically like, it was in pairs, and we can learn so many different things in different labs. For example, the tissue engineering, we learn like how to use the confocal microscope. We learn how to store tissues, how to grow cells. And then like in the MRI research lab, we learn about imaging. We work with live rats. And like, since there are a lot of different PhDs in every lab, we can follow each of them separately, like on different days, depending on the supervisor. So by joining these labs, like I figured I know so many different research topics from the different PhDs, even though they're working in the same lab. And then there's internships as well. So I went to the CHK Biomedical Engineering department, learned how to make biosensors, the precision and solution sensors. So these are less on the biology side and more on the like physics and chemistry side, more to materials, more to like, oh, how do I make a sensor? And then there's also the HKU Med Orthopedics Lab. This is more on like histology, like you learn how to cut bones and how to observe them under the microscope. And then you also learn how to grow bone cells, like cell culture, changing the media every week. You need to take care of the cell. So this is more like biology and more science rather than the other part. And the nice thing about this is like I was exposed to so many different parts of BME. And in year 2, there's this thing called the summer engineering training during summer, June, the month of June. So we learn like different softwares like KiCad, AutoCAD, LabVIEW, and SolidWorks. So even though we're in BME, we still need to learn electronics. We still need to learn like mechanical, like making 3D models, and also like how to print. Like AutoCAD is useful for like printing laser printers and stuff. And after passing that, you can like join an internship. And I joined Gens Technologies. It is a startup, and it is a biomedical engineering startup that specializes on imaging using electrical impedance tomography. And there I learned like how a startup works. I learned about user experience, user interface. There's like, you can also focus on like what the user wants and how to design a nice app for the users. Or you can also join the clinical trials part, which is more about like what you need to do in hospitals to get data, to prove that your product has scientific values behind it, publish papers, and also there's a lot about statistics as well. So if you like maths, it's like nice here. And as you can see in this diagram here, like there's mapping and there's analysis. There is like denoising and time difference reconstruction. Like if you like programming, something like algorithm, it is also useful here. So in a startup, like your position is not fixed. Even though you work under one department, you can still help the other departments as well, because it's a startup. It's like everybody's working on everything. So you need all the different like skills. For example, that's why we learn programming, and that's why we learn like maths and stuff. Okay, moving on. So this is the competition that Dr. Chang previously mentioned. His research group is the WISE research group, where they make this little chip called Perfect Chip. And basically based on this, there's a student interest group that is held by Innowing. And based on the project. Our team joined the competition, and it is about like targeting the protein of viruses using DNA aptamers. And we thankfully won the university pitch competition. And now I'm in year 3, semester 1. So I'm doing the integrated project, which is the course to make your own oximeter. Like, it doesn't look hard at first, but then like when you start making it, it's very difficult. For example, you need to learn how to code again. You need to learn how to make a circuit. Like all the electrical stuff that you learned previously is like brought up here again for you to implement it like in real life. So you actually have to design a product and design something that's innovative, and then make it work like an actual oximeter. And this is a very challenging course. So and then in year 4 you will have a final year project, but I haven't gone through that yet. But what I know is like when I graduate, there will be different pathways that I can go into. For example, like a biomedical engineer or a medical physicist. I know some seniors that got into hospitals and work in a hospital authority. There's also postgrad studies, or you can take a PhD, become a researcher, a professor, or even an entrepreneur, making your own startup, like Dr. Chan mentioned. And yeah, if you want to scan the QR code to follow our Instagram and join us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your sharing, Rachel. I'm sure those who are considering to studying BME and HKU must be inspired, by your pictures and your journey. Thank you so much. So I'm going to share my screen then. Okay. Hi everyone. So this is Robert. So let me introduce myself. So I'm from the admissions department of Hong Kong U. So the following sections, I will be going to let you know more about the features of Hong Kong U, and also for international students, why some of the international students consider Hong Kong as the destinations. Let me start then. Before I start, because I saw some comment mention that their screen going to be too small, so I just want to check everyone is all right with the screen. If there's any issues, please, share your queries in Q&A. Some of our staff could help, to solve, if you got screen problem, etc. So I will spend a little bit time about Discovery Hong Kong. Basically, it's about the features of Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is a place that have a strong culture. So it is like a mix of a culture port, where East meet West or West meet East. And then we also got a lot of nature scene, which if you have been to Hong Kong, if you have seen some of the pictures of Hong Kong, so we have a lot of hills, we have a lot of great hiking path, etc. And then I will also share some of the features that you may get from Hong Kong about our development, about the area that we have, like the Greater Bay Area, and also something about Belt and Road. So it is always fun to be, in this bustling city. And just like what BME mentioned, it is actually the city of innovators. So the government and also Hong Kong itself have a lot of strong support, for innovators. And there is a lot of countryside area. So there's a lot of hills, hidden beaches, and also if you don't want to hike, actually you can take the cable car, or there's an on-ping 360 that you can travel to the big builder as well. And in Hong Kong, quite a lot of international students share with me that the transport system is really perfect. It is fast, it is efficient, and it is always in very cheap cost. So for example, in Hong Kong, we have our own MTR stations. So from that stations, actually you can travel to our CBD area like Central, like TST in just like 10 to 15 minutes. And of course, for safety, quite a lot of parents of students concerned about if studying abroad would be concerned. So to let you know, Hong Kong is actually the world's top 10 safest city. And for all the things, you can actually experience it all in Hong Kong U. To show you more pictures that what I have just mentioned, it is a city with skyscrapers. You can see on the top left side, we got the Victoria Harbour. And then we also have the Big Buddha, that is strong culture, Chinese traditional culture. And of course, some famous food like dim sum. Not forgot to mention, actually, we got a lot of different cuisine from around the world. So if you are vegetarian, if you need to eat halal food, so you can very easily find in Hong Kong and also in the Hong Kong U campus. So also some pictures you can see about the hill and also some pictures, which actually is a very easy accessible space that in Hong Kong. So on the right corner, you can see there is two major area of Hong Kong. One you can see is like a golden egg shape of theater. It is Science Park in Hong Kong. So there is strong support for Hong Kong government for those new tech startup, innovative startup to be facilitated there. And then the bottom right corner is a cyberport. So cyberport is very close to Hong Kong. You basically just 5 to 10 minutes drive. So it is also a very favorable space for a lot of like fintech startup and innovative startup as well. And the current term government actually has invested over 130 billion in I&T development. So this is more about your future in Hong Kong. So just like Rachel did share a bit why she chose Hong Kong to study. And then here is some of the attractiveness for Hong Kong. So first of all, Hong Kong is the heart of Asia. So live and learn in Asia's #1 business capital with unmatched ties to mainland China. And also you can equip yourself with the future Greater Bay Area and Belt and Road opportunities. And also, if you have pay attention to some of the news, so actually in Hong Kong in November, actually this month, earlier this month, we host a global financial leaders investment summit. And it actually have a lot of signature guests to be joining us. For example, the CEO of Morgan Stanley, the COO of Blackstone, chairman of UBS, president of Bank of China, chairman of the Goldman Sachs. So it brings all the things that to make Hong Kong, as its very famous status as an international financial city. And then the other thing which is very related to your future is about after you graduated, you can stay in Hong Kong for another 12 months without any restrictions to seek jobs. So it is very convenient for you to build up your career prospect after you graduate in Hong Kong. So for some of you not really familiar with Greater Bay Area, so here is some of quick features about the GBA opportunities. So first of all, Hong Kong have a geographic advantage because it is like in the center of Asia, and also it is leveraging mainland China and engaging the world. So it is very well connected to different markets in Asia and also the APAC region. And being the most international city in the GBA area, Hong Kong has a very user-friendly business environment. We have a good tradition of the rule of law, free economic system, and well-established information technology, infrastructure, and financial system, as well as a wealth of high-end talents and professional services with extensive knowledge for the global market. So you can see the brief numbers would be giving you some of the insight. The total populations in the Greater Bay Area is over 86 million, and which made up the GDP is US dollars $1,668 billion in just 2020. Okay, so you can actually, by studying in Hong Kong and studying in Hong Kong U, to connect it with these GBA opportunities. So Belt and Road, One Belt, One Road refers to the Silk Road economy belt and the 21st century of the Silk Road development. So the Belt and Road currently accounts for 70% of the world populations, 30% of the global GDP, and more than 35% of the world's merchandise trade. And Hong Kong is playing a very important role in this One Belt, One Road policy. Not forgot to mention, because of these initiatives, we also have scholarship for Belt and Road countries. So you may want to take a look if you are actually under Belt and Road countries under our admissions website, the Belt and Road scholarship part. Okay, so you will be benefit for the initiatives from the Belt and Road. Why the University of Hong Kong? So Hong Kong is really a perfect place for you to build your career, etc. And then, as I mentioned, why HKU? First of all, we rank 21st in the world and the first in most international university in the world. And also, we are the #1 university in Hong Kong. So what this number implicates you? Being the 21st in the world means Hong Kong U is internationally recognized with a high global reputation. So after you graduated in Hong Kong U, if you want to further studying in postgraduate or PhD, etc., your degree is internationally recognized with very good reputations. For your career, so since we are so reputable, it is always very easy for you to build up your career with Hong Kong U qualifications. As an international student, it is very important that you join a university which have an international environment. Not only the students are from the globe, we have a lot of faculties, which is also from around the world, and also the restaurant in our campus, we have like Subway, we have a Japanese restaurant, we have halal food, vegetarian, we have Malaysians. So, sandwich, pizza, any kind of things you already find in campus. And here is a quick snapshot about some of the rankings of our faculty and subjects. So you can see most of our faculty and subjects are in very high ranking among the world as well. So as I mentioned, all those numbers in high ranking, top ranking, which means it is opening doors for you if you're seeking a high flying careers prospect. Looking at our data, you can see 98.7% of our graduates get full employment, and it is the most employed university graduates in Hong Kong. What this means? Some of our graduates share, the experience for me that some of them will actually not just get one job offer, but they sometimes can get multiple job offer, like 2 to 3 offer, so they can have options to choose the best career that they have. And also, Hong Kong U ranked the 10th most employable university graduates in the world. So it also means that it is very, very accessible for your career around the world as a Hong Kong U graduate. Okay, now I'm going to show you a video. How does it look like to be studying at HKU? So you have a quick taste of a life as a Hong Konguer. So I would also like to introduce you at HKU. You also get a lot of exchange opportunities to different universities, different countries, like the top tier university that like Cambridge, Oxford, MIT, Princeton, Yale, etc. So for this, you can get a lot of international exposure and also possible internship opportunities, for some of the big names below, like Bloomberg, JP Morgan, Citibank, Credit Suisse, etc. And as mentioned, also GBA Initiative and also the Belt and Road, you can experience them. And also HKU, we do a lot of research for the community as well. For example, HKU did a research which made a strong impact for the COVID-19 in Hong Kong, which is a new surveillance method using the soil in the community area to fight against COVID-19. Hong Kong U also wins the 2020 Microsoft Image Cup World Champion, and the robotic fish actually sets a Guinness World Record. As mentioned, we have collaborative programs with the university around the world. You can actually join the 1 program, 2 degrees. That means the double degree with the universities here. So which means you study 1 bachelor program, you get 2 testimonial, 2 degree qualifications. So I will share a bit more after this slides. For some of you, if you want to exchange for a semester or 2, so you can join the exchange program. We have 382 exchange partners in 46 cities. And also you can see a lot of our cooperative university is a very top tier, high ranking university as well. As mentioned, we run 2 degree programs with a lot of university around the globe. For example, with UCL, HKU UCL, and HKU PKU. So it's a law double degree program. And for the one with Cambridge, so you can spend 2 years in Hong Kong, followed by 3 years in Cambridge. And at the end, you can earn a Bachelor of Engineering for Hong Kong U, and both a Bachelor of Arts and a Master of Engineering from the University of Cambridge upon successful completion of a 5-year program. And then you can also see we have a dual degree program with UC Berkeley, which is a Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Social Science from Hong Kong U, and a Bachelor of Arts at the University of California, Berkeley, UC Berkeley. For UBC, you can earn a Bachelor of Business Administration from Hong Kong U and a Bachelor of Commerce from UBC. And finally, for Sciences Po, you can earn a Bachelor of Arts from Sciences Po and Bachelor of Arts or Business Administration or Social Science from HKU. So it may sound a bit complicated with different majors, and I strongly recommend you to the admissions website to go through those dual degree programs that you're interested, because each dual degree programs have their own features and also different applications procedures. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask us as well. The other way to experience HKU is to live in HKU. So we have 70 residential halls. You can experience the strong spirit and all the whole heritage that you can. So you can see the high table dinner within the hall, and you can see some of the pictures of our hall. Also, we have a lot of clubs and societies that you can join. So besides academic, you can also bring your hobbies to Hong Kong. For example, I checked with a student from India before. She liked to play badminton, and then she brought these hobbies to Hong Kong and joined a badminton club. And then she met a lot of new friends, and to keep her hobbies in Hong Kong U. Some of the student testimonials from the international students. So you can see they're from India, South Korea, Indonesia, Philippines, etc. So for some of them, they mentioned coming to Hong Kong U is the best decisions in their life. And also for you who really keen into career opportunities, you can see Hong Kong U provides opportunities to pave your future careers. So Hong Kong U is a very comprehensive university. So we provide a very diversified undergraduate programs. So here is some of the quick snapshot about what UG programs that we provided. So we have 10 faculties, faculties of arts, faculties of dentistry, our business school, faculty of architecture, faculty of education, and of course, faculty of engineering, which Dr. Zhang has shared with us. And then we also have faculty of law, faculty of medicine, social science, and science. Okay, if you're interested in any major, okay, you can feel free to go to the faculty website page or go to our admissions page to know more about, for example, the entry requirements and also the course structures. With a huge demand in data these days around the globe, HKU also have big data oriented programs. So instead of going through just the name here, so I'm going to share a video about these big data programs.
Big data, it's the now and also the future of yours and ours. Nowadays, what we need is usually just one click away with a mobile phone or computer. Data analysis is widely utilized in different industries. The collection, analysis, and application of big data has become an essential skill for the next generation. HKU's brand new big data-oriented programs. The programs are designed to keep up with global trends to nurture big data professionals. Nurturing talents with capabilities and passion for data science. To excel in the era of big data.
Big data can be used in different areas, such as analyzing road traffic situations, understanding the effects of vaccines and medicines for COVID-19 or other diseases.
The program is a combination of courses in data science, computing, mathematics, statistics, and law to equip students with solid foundation and practical skills. Graduates may pursue exciting career choices from the fastest growing job positions.
Big data and technology has brought upon new business models and transformed traditional businesses.
Graduates from the program will be well prepared with profound knowledge to perform big data analysis on consumer behavior and preference, quality control of products and services. They will also be able to formulate innovative business strategies and new development opportunities for different enterprises.
Digital technologies refers to the whole interface between humans and technology. This includes specific applications and tools that use machine learning, neural networks, and other forms of artificial intelligence, augmented and virtual reality, to expand our knowledge of humanity's subjects.
The program is the first of its kind in Asia. Due to the rapid development of the global economy and innovation technology, it is crucial to nurture talents with interdisciplinary knowledge in humanities and digital technologies, as well as transferable skills to be regional and global leaders.
Human data is extremely complex. We now have the technology to capture this data, and bioinformatics is about turning this data into useful information to improve lives.
The program cultivates problem-oriented thinking, allows students to understand and analyze biological big data in order to cater for different biomedical needs. It deepens our understanding of cancer and congenital disorders of unknown causes, and helps devise specific disease treatment and prevention plans. This can lead to more and more medical breakthroughs. Big data is more important than ever as it advances trends in technology that open doors to a new approach to understanding the world and making decisions. Join HKU if you aspire to be an expert in big data.
So now, let me introduce to you how to apply to Hong Kong U as an international or non-JUPAS admissions. So for students with qualifications like IB diploma, GCA A-level, or different kind of national examinations, first of all, be aware about the timeline. The first round evaluation, so it's like a kind of a first applications deadline, will be just 6 days away, 16th of November noon. As Johnny recommended, if you are interested to apply in HKU, please make sure you submit your applications by that. Because quite a lot of our programs will start to conduct their interview on December. So if you could not submit by first round, so probably you have very high chance to miss those interviews. So after that, we will run a rolling admissions system until the August 2023. So different subjects would have different subject requirements. So that is all available on our HKU website. So you can check the expected lower boundaries for different qualifications. And also you can check on the subject requirements, for example, the English language proficiency, the second language proficiency, or some specific program requirements, like, for example, if you're interested in engineering, so it will require you have maths and physics. And if you're interested in medicine, it will require you to have relevant subject like chemistry. Besides that, you have to also supplement your applications with extracurriculars, personal statements, references from your counselors or teachers. And then you have to also nominate your school counselor to provide transcripts and also predict grade. Because most of you with international qualifications, your actual exam, your actual results may not be ready by the 16th of November. So we will also look at the applications using the predicted grade as well. So remember to update and upload your applications once it is available. You can apply up to 3 program choices. So remember that the first choices would be the one that you really favorable to be applied, and also pay attention. Some of the program would require you to put their program choice as a subject requirement in the first choices as the priority. And as I mentioned, beside the Bell and Rose Scholarship, HKUer actually offered a lot of different scholarships to our students. So you can go to our scholarship sections in our admissions websites to browse through what kind of scholarships that you are eligible with. So finally, I would like to show once more some of the engineering program that offered for the Faculty of Engineer. So Dr. Zhang and his students, Rachel, had a very interesting and insightful sharing about the BME, which is biomedical engineering. We also have BEng in different programs, which is a more traditional programs like civil engineering, computer science, computer engineering, and industrial engineering, and logistic management, and mechanical engineering. So we also have BEng in engineering science with different majors like energy, healthcare, etc. We also have a fintech technology related program and data science and engineering programs. And then we also run a global engineering and business program, which you can gain knowledge from the business science as well. And it is a double degree. Okay, so for all the informations, feel free to browse in our Faculty of Engineer website. So it will be listed all are very clear about what you will be studying, what kind of projects that you will be doing. Okay, not to forget to mention engineering, the first year is a common year. So once you enroll, for example, like BEng, you'll be studying like all different kind of courses, and then you declare your major starting in year 2. So it gives a very good platform for you if you may not decide, oh, if I'm going to do a mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, you don't have to worry. So you just apply BEng programs. After year 1 study, you know what are you good at and what do you like, then you can declare your major. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.